Thank you very much, Jeff. Next on our agenda is the report of the Executive Director. This past Wednesday marked the one-year anniversary of Patricia Collins Murdoch beginning her role as the top manager of OEA, responsible for leading our large, diverse, and dedicated staff and carrying out the vision of members laid out to you, the delegates to the Representative Assembly, your OEA Board of Directors, and your elected officers. In that short year, despite ongoing challenges related to the pandemic, a hostile political climate, and threats seemingly coming from all directions, Patricia has demonstrated poise, courage, and a commitment to OEA's values. More to the point, she knows how to get stuff done. She has put the right people in the right jobs and has worked closely with us to ensure we are measuring and making impactful progress on our strategic goals in a way that strengthens public education and improves the lives of our members and the students we serve. At this time, it is my distinct honor to introduce your Executive Director, Patricia Collins Murdoch.
Good morning, delegates, and thank you, President DeMauro. I also would like to thank you, Vice President Wensing, Secretary-Treasurer Mark Hill, the OEA Board of Directors, the OEA Executive Management Team, and all OEA staff for helping to make what has been a very challenging year a very positive experience for me. And as another challenging year ends, it is essential that we pause and celebrate our victories. President DeMauro already mentioned one major reason to celebrate, the new school funding formula. There were a few other key wins I think it is also important to mention. The historic federal investment in addressing equity and adequacy issues for all students and communities, the elimination of state takeovers of schools and the minimization of the role of high-stake testing in a new state report card system that many OEA members helped craft and advocated for. And like President DeMauro, I want to make certain we celebrate our recent victories from this past election in November, when despite fierce attacks from opponents who openly denigrated educators and public education, approximately 80% of the candidates recommended and supported by OEA locals were successful. And it must be noted that during the month of October, more American workers participated in work stoppages than at any other time in recent history. In fact, economists and labor leaders have referred to October of 2021 as Striketober. Many of these same experts believe this increase in labor actions is connected to the pandemic. The reasoning being that the COVID-19 pandemic has changed how workers see themselves, and to quote, especially if going to work heightened their risk of exposure to the deadly virus. As educators, there's no denying you faced a heightened risk of exposure to COVID-19 in classrooms, in school buildings, in cafeterias, and on school buses, while the country waited for a COVID vaccine for students under the age of 12. So it should be no surprise that there has also been an increase in the number of OEA members demanding respect for the vital role they play every day in their schools and in their communities, especially during this pandemic. In 2021, the hundreds of OEA members like those of Geneva ATA, Coshocton EA, Middletown TA, Paulding EA, Euclid TA, Parkway EA, and Zane Trace EA were among the tens of thousands of American workers who stood up and refused to be disrespected during Striketober. We know there are members around the state like those in Ashland Vocational TA and Madison Local EA who are still fighting for fair and equitable treatment. OEA staff will continue to support members in their struggle for fair salaries and safe working conditions. As OEA staff and governance begin planning for campaign 2022, the lessons learned from the pandemic and during recent school board races must inform the candidates OEA recommends and support in 2022. Support for educators and public education must be a priority. It is imperative that elected officials at every local level acknowledge the important role of educators in helping students succeed in and out of the classroom. Candidates for public office must understand that educators are willing to work hard on behalf of those who support them. And in 2021, the OEA officers, and the Board of Directors, with the support of OEA staff and management, began a comprehensive review of OEA's 4 strategic priorities. The review examined how OEA determines if the work it is engaged in is consistent and appropriate for each priority. As a result of this wide-ranging review, OEA made a few minor revisions to the strategic priorities, updated the conditions of success for each priority, and implemented a new strategic budgeting process. The goal of this new budgeting process is to establish a clear connection between OEA's 4 strategic priorities and the development of the OEA budget brought before the OEA RA for approval. As elected delegates to the RA, you are active participants in the democratic principles that are integral to the OEA and NEA. As delegates, you understand your responsibility is to speak for and vote on behalf of the members of your local association. You understand the importance of OEA members having a voice in the direction and work of the association. To create an opportunity for OEA members to be heard, the OEA board and officers developed 1 to 2 questions related to each of the priorities and collaborated with OEA districts to provide members with an opportunity to respond to those questions and to offer input and feedback. During the month of September, these questions were raised at Leadership Council meetings and at round-table conversations hosted by your districts. Simultaneously, similar conversations were held with OEA managers and staff. The feedback from all of these conversations have since been used by the OEA Strategic Priorities Oversight Committee to refine and update OEA strategic priorities and conditions of success. The information gathered during these various conversations are also informing the development of the 2-year budget that will be brought to the spring RA for action. It is the intention of OEA governance and staff to continue these member-focused conversations to ensure OEA is a member-driven and member-focused organization. This new process that began here in 2021 will provide OEA with more meaningful ways to connect with and to engage OEA members in the work of their association. OEA will continue to be the voice of its members and public education. Bottom line, your voice does matter. And at the Spring RA, I mentioned OEA's collaboration with Central State University, a historically black college, with our Pathways program. As you may recall, this collaboration involves a program focusing on supporting students of color who wish to become educators. The program seeks to provide students with an education free of charge while providing mentors to participating students of color throughout their college experience. OEA believes mentorships are a key component to ensuring a student's successful completion of a degree in education. Here's a brief video update on the program featuring a few of the students along with their OEA mentors.
I told her, I said, you're gonna go far. It's just like meeting somebody and clicking without even meeting them in person.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's just like we just clicked. And it is my goal to share what I have. I have a gift. My gift is a wealth of knowledge. Ask me a question, if I don't know it, I'll find it. But also as a support person, as somebody to have a listening ear, just if you just want to talk about something, that's fine. If you want to just talk about your classes, how they stress you out, that's fine. But that's who I am in a nutshell.
In my role as an instructional coach, and I'm in and out of classrooms in my building, I see the need for dedicated educators of color working with our students, and the idea of being able to help almost be a bridge for students who are trying to come into this profession is exciting to me.
This is the best time to do it. First of all, it's free. So there are no more student loans to add to my current loans. And with the mentors and being online is convenient, and it's something that they know they'll have help with when needed.
Coming back was definitely going to be like a challenge to me, I should say. But knowing that we had the opportunity to have a mentor who we could go to for help, and not just the academic advisors and everyone at the actual institution. So here I am now, and I am 8 classes away from obtaining my bachelor's in early education. So I feel as if this program definitely it can open doors for me.
So fast, the pathway program makes sure that she has support when it comes to her student teaching, when it comes to her taking the state test, just supporting her there. And when she's, and even in finding jobs, and even when she finds the job, to still be that support for her. Even though she may be in Dayton, I may be in Cleveland, it doesn't matter. We're still connected.
Yes, I definitely agree with that.
Mr. President, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Patricia, and thank you for all you continue to do on behalf of our members every day.